Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your October 31st full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they are all located in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, steady, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let me let the bulls sing. And I'm going to be moving your Moonology and your Queen of the Moon cards over to the side. These will be layered on top of the tarot to really give the moon a voice of her own, which I think is a very empowering way to end the reading. So I'm very excited about this moon. We haven't seen a moon like this in 19 years, which is astounding and beautiful and powerful. And this is the moon that we need during this time. This is a moon of grounding. This is a moon of knowledge, of truth, of creation, of settling in and watching the change that you want come forward. And so that is really quite beautiful. So here we have it all laid out for you. And let's see what the tarot has to say. Aries. How will Aries be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? How will Aries be affected by the October 31st, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. All right. Now, the left-hand side here, this is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. And the right-hand side is the public arena, the public self. So let's see. There we go. I like that better. Let's see what they have to say. We start off with the Knight of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is connecting you with the full moon on the 30th of November, which is in Gemini. So that is a call to you. There's something long-term that you're looking at here. You are cutting through doubts and fears, seeing things more clearly. This is a time I love it with the Empress. This is a time of embracing creation, of looking at things and seeing the power, because you have the Eight of Pentacles. Excuse me. And the Eight of Pentacles is your hard work paying off. It's a long, hard, tiring road, but embracing and really moving forward towards that prosperity. And then you have the Moon, which is absolutely beautiful during this time. This represents Pisces energy, a time frame of February 19th to March 20th. But this moon, this is a blue moon, this is a full moon on Samhain, on Halloween. This is a powerhouse moon. And this is really a moon that has us facing our fears, looking at what it is that we want more deeply and more honestly, and really moving forward in a truth for us. Not in a truth for everybody else, but in a powerful truth that we need to empower ourselves to move forward and really embrace what we desire from life. And then this leads you to the Three of Cups. There is a sense here of looking at the hurts, the pains, and the disappointments that have happened to people who were supposed to celebrate you, but just couldn't. They just couldn't. And your heart is looking at that, and it's like, you know what? You don't get to have that say over me anymore. There's a healing here. There's kind of like the gold at the end of the rainbow. And it has to do with an emotional sense of security, abundance. And it can't just be, sitting there and saying, you know what, no more. No more victim. No more victim. Now I'm moving to victor. No more am I letting my voice feel as if it's drowned out, feel as if it doesn't even matter. You're claiming paths during this time, Aries, that you didn't even know you had. You didn't even know you could move forward that way, because life has been so hard, so much, so intense. And it's like, oh, okay, this could just be as good as it gets. And it's like, no, it's not. This hurt, this despair that has held you back, because it has planted seeds of doubt within you. You're now facing it. And as you look at things, there's a radiance to you. There's a radiance to your heart that is brilliant, brilliant and astounding, and that is really quite empowering for you. And it moves you forward in a really beautiful, I keep on saying beautiful, I know this. Spirit is saying, maybe use a different word, but that's what they're showing me. They're showing me something just breathtaking. Breathtaking is very good. And others are going to be able to see this so much more easily than you are. So people will look at things and be like, oh, wow, Aries, you got this going on. And you'll be thinking, oh, no, there's still so much that I have to overcome. And that can be true, most definitely. But you are cutting through doubts and fears. You're knowing what it is that you desire. You're taking up that crown and you're placing it on your head with the King of Swords. And as you do so, you're seeing that your hard work, your dedication starts to shine a light on you. It colors the way you see the world. It's like having this beautiful stained glass, shining down on you. It colors the light that comes in. And that's what's happening during this time. You have a repeat so far of the number 3. Okay, actually you have that 3 times. And this is definitely divinity walking with you. You have the 8 of Wands. Things start to change. And this change is really quite brilliant for you. It's like, okay, ready or not, here it comes. So in the public arena, things can be moving kind of quickly and intensely. It moves you to the 10 of Pentacles. Prosperity that lasts for generations. Prosperity that moves you forward, that makes you feel bountiful. It's either money or something you desire as much as money coming into your life. And then, oh, I love this. Okay, that's strong. You have the Queen of Swords. So whenever I have the King and the Queen of a suit in a reading from the same deck, this is a soulmate connection, a true love connection. You can be very attracted during this time to air sign energies, Gemini, Libras, Aquariuses. That could very much be the case. This is also a sense here of if you have air sign energy in your chart, it's really making itself known during this time. This is a time of ancient wisdom. This is a time of moving forward in sacred power. And that's all part of this moon, most definitely. And this is your hard work paying off. This is also the warrior, king and queen. Okay, because swords, they're the proper weapons. They're weapons that, can cut and slice. And yes, you can say the king and the queen of wands also carry weapons, yes. But here, it's much more forcefully and much more, Spirit is saying elitist, because it was. Back in the Middle Ages, you couldn't have a sword unless you were noble. So here, there is a sense of hard-won wealth to you, okay? A sense of power, a sense of, as much as you might not like the word elitism, it's in your mind, in your actions. It's just like a sense of being just a little bit above the norm, above what others expect. And it's in a brilliant, prosperous way. And it leads you to the Four of Wands. It leads you to a sense of prosperity. It leads you to a happiness that cannot be denied. It leads you to moving forward in a way that you hadn't imagined. And so let's start talking about this moon, because this is brilliant and this is powerful. And this is a moon that grounds. This is a moon. Okay. So with the full moon in Taurus, okay, your dreams need a practical plan. And that's what you're going to see during this time. Okay, with the blue moon, it says believe in the impossible. So the blue moon is cultivating our patience and building our power and calling us to take time out and step back and really look at what we want, because our dreams need a practical plan. And the Taurus full moon is the most sensual, most solid moon out there. Okay, so this is just a beautiful combination, with it also in Samhain, okay, with it also on Halloween. This is a sense of us releasing what is no longer wanted in our lives. This is a sense of us reevaluating, facing our fears, just like the moon here says that you are most definitely doing. Facing your fears, seeing what has held you back, seeing, difficult truths, and saying either, okay, well, that's just part of my personality and that will be, or you know what, no, I am not going to be held back and I am not going to be denied. Because as you embrace this powerhouse, because it really is a powerhouse, it leads you to a surrender to the divine, and it leads you to embracing your power, your destiny, and it increases your sensuality, but also your sensitivity to this world. So this moon has a lot to offer to you, and you're definitely making the most out of it. Now, are there going to be times where you feel like you're not moving forward the way that you should be? Yes, there are going to be times where negativity really starts to take hold and makes you think, oh no, I can't do this. People have spoken negativity over me. In my childhood, people might have said, oh, you'll not amount to anything. Or, you might have had a lover or a best friend or somebody who did a number on you, who left you with vile words. And hopefully you're not together anymore, because those words keep on coming up. And if the person is still in your life, they have a tendency to bring up that vileness every now and then. And it needs to be addressed. It just does, Aries, because you have this beautiful energy to you. You are a fierce warrior of your truth. You are represented by the Emperor in the major arcana. Okay, you claim that throne. You know that, yes, I am a flawed human being, because all human beings are flawed, but I am making the most out of my power. I am making the most out of my truth, and I am ascending to the highest throne that there can possibly be. And as you see this, you are going to see that on the 15th of November, that is when the new moon is in Scorpio, you start to work through fears. You start to really sit there, because you've taken this time out and you've looked at what it is that you truly want. Because the full moon in Taurus is a little bit resistant to change. And even though I see here and I'll get to that in a moment, but it's like you're shedding a skin. But with a snake, and we have the snake spirit as part of the spirit animals during this time, it's like when a snake sheds its skin, it needs to go into a place and hide. It needs to take itself away from the chaos, away from the vulnerability, and it needs to hide for a little bit, or just, kind of connect. And that's what you're going to see yourself really inclined to doing during this time, Aries. And as you kind of come out of the full impact of the full moon in Taurus, so by November 15th, when the new moon in Scorpio really starts to come forward with you, it's like, okay, I'm facing my fears. I have this new skin on. I have this new way, this new outlook, this power, this force to me, because you're not really going to want to change things that you don't want to change, which, sounds like just such a person thing to begin with. Like, we don't want to change things that we think are perfectly fine. But you're going to be more kind of dug in your heels during this time with the influence of the full moon in Taurus. During the new moon in Scorpio, you are facing fears, you're looking at things, and you're going to see a little bit more of a give and take towards what it is that you want. But there is still this severe, and it is rather severe, sense of individualism and sense of facing shadows on your time. This is not a time where you can be rushed. This is not a time where you will appreciate being rushed. It actually can really make your temper flare. during this time, because there's this stubborn sense of determination, of power, of healing that you are going through. And it brings you to a new start is coming. It brings you to a new way of looking, examining, and seeing what it is that you desire. And it brings you to the portals of what it is that you want, and through the portals to what it is that you want. And it's the new moon always makes me think of the god Janus in Roman mythology. That's the god who actually is named after, whose January is named after. And it's the god of beginnings and endings. It's the god of, quite frankly, portals. And so here, when you have that portal moving you forward, when you have that beginning and the ending, that the new moon signifies, you have this power that you are embracing, that it's almost like every single month we have a way of embracing a new us, a new understanding, as we contemplate on the brightness, as we reflect, on what has been done the past lunar cycle, but also what it is that we desire to move forward in. And we need this silence to contemplate, to understand. And then on the 30th of November, we have the full moon in Gemini. And this says the answers you need are coming. And with this full moon, it is also a full moon eclipse. So conclusions are within reach. So this is going to be a time of immense curiosity, of seeking, of questioning, of a desiring of something so much more than what you had originally thought. And you are preparing for this during this time of healing, during this time of introspection. Then the questions start to come. And because during this time, with your dreams needing a practical plan, okay? And you're looking at things, and you're looking at that practical plan, and you're sitting there and saying, okay, this is how I'm working it out. And then in November, there is this sense of the answers you need are coming. It's like everything that you start to put together, like you start to gather up the pieces of the puzzle, and then they really do start to put themselves together in your life, really moving you forward to what you need, to the answers you're seeking, and to a duality of understanding that you might think, oh, well, that's wrong. That things can't be so polarized and yet so right. I can't have these conflicting ideologies or these conflicting, desires moving me forward. And you're going to see that, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And that's actually going to be very powerful for you here. Now, for the one day of Halloween, okay, in October, the spirit animals are the crow spirit and the dove spirit. And I love these animals. I love the way they go together. They're so opposite. They're so polarizing, right? But they're also so beautiful. Because the crow spirit, when you have a crow, you have a whole flock of crows. They're called a murder of crows. When you have a dove, it's a symbol of peace. So it's like murder and peace coming forward. And you think, okay, how does that work? But crows are actually astoundingly intelligent. Ravens are even more so intelligent. But crows are really quite beautiful and really quite brilliant. But we don't look at it that way. Because crows and ravens, they are carrion birds. They eat the carcasses of the fallen, and that's what they would do in battles. So in our minds and from our ancient memories, cellular memories, we have this idea of them. And we think, ooh, that's bad. But crows are bringers of change. They're also of sacred law. And they're trusting your personal integrity and intuition to move you forward. It's like take flight. Take flight. You are on the right path. It's speaking your truth and being empowered by your truth. And as you do so, there's a personal transformation that leads you forward. And there's a message that you will be getting on Samhain, on Halloween, that is profound. And it's probably ancestral. Okay, it's either ancestral or connected to ancient knowledge that moves you forward. Because this is a great time to connect to ancestral knowledge, to ancient wisdom, and you're going to see you taking flight. And then the dove spirit brings a message of peace and hope, especially when our hearts are hurting. And in this time in our world, whose heart isn't hurting? Who doesn't think that this is all just a little bit too much? And so this is peace that is coming to soothe, to cleanse, to move us forward. This is gentle compassion, and this is a release from the pain that holds us back, because it's like enough is enough. And as we embrace this for one day during this full moon, it then moves us to the spirit animals for November, which are the snake spirit and the eel spirit. So the snake spirit says it's time to heal, because it is time to heal. It is time to heal. Here, I don't know if I read these, it says co-create with spirit and be peace. So here, for one day, you are co-creating with spirit and in a really profound way, and being that exemplary symbol of peace to the world around you. And that's cool. That's really cool. And so here with the snake spirit, as it is time to heal, you are embracing healing opportunities. There are going to be, in November, there are going to be times where true healing can really come in. Now, sometimes those are the times that really test us as individuals. Other times, they're the times that let us make peace with a lot that has happened in our lives. And in your heart, we can see that you're crowned by a negativity that you are making peace with. And that is powerful. Okay? This is also, the snake also represents important transitions and increased energy. But there's also a duality to the snake spirit, because the snake spirit is, with the snake, we think of the, what is the word? The Asclepian. Okay, that staff of healing with the two snakes intertwined, right? We think of that. And then we have the tempting serpent, the one that tries to lead us off the path. So there's this duality to the serpent that brings forward. Yeah, in our minds, in ourselves, in creation myths, and in our ideologies. And so here, there is a time where you are looking, actually, oh wow, Spirit is saying, you're looking to heal from the falls that you have had, from the temptations that you have had, from the venom that has been a part of your life. And now you are also seeing how you heal, how you are empowered, and how you move forward. It moves you to the eel spirit. And this is bring your ideas to life, because this is emotion and strength and foresight, because it is time to move forward. It is time to look at the future, and it is time to let it be charged with the energy of the electric eel. And this moves us to you being a knight, to you being a defender of your mind, a knower of your truth. There is something here that you are saying, this is me. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I'm moving towards. And nothing and no one will stop me, will hold me back, and will take away the brilliance of my speech, the power of my integrity and myself. And you're going to find that you're going to want to move forward really rather quickly. It's a little bit too quickly. So make sure that you can step back. Make sure that you can step back during this time and say, okay, I'm not going to run off kind of like, and just go crazy. It's just like, okay, I have the idea and now I have to run with it instantaneously. It's like, no, step back. Step back, think it through. Because this is the white knight energy. It's kind of like in the fairy tales where the person comes in on their horse and they save the day. So here you are embracing that energy, that beauty, that power, that reasoning. You are saving the day for yourself, maybe even for others. But yeah, but Spirit is mostly focusing. Spirit is really focusing on you. And so here, as you cut through doubts and fears, you know your mind more. You know what it is that you desire. And you are a defender in your inner self of where it is that you want to stand and what it is that you want from your life, because you are creating. You are creating something so much more than what you had thought you would have. And this is a time of incubation. Now, it doesn't mean that, you have to be creating a life or anything like that whatsoever. It means that you are creating something beautiful, profound, and powerful for you. And with this energy, you are going to be bringing it forward in the world. It's kind of like creating a really good story or a really beautiful piece of art. You have to think about it. And it doesn't mean that you have to be an artist. You are creating something beautiful within your life that you are going to bring forward, and that is really going to aid to things within a sense of accomplishment within yourself. And so here, as you do so, you look at what you desire more honestly and more openly. You're also claiming a throne that you thought was lost. You thought, I couldn't move forward this way. I can't do this. What the heck? And then, oh my gosh, and the Empress, Aries. I totally did not even see this. The Empress with the Emperor. This is kind of like your better half coming in. This is that soulmate connection, that true love connection, and something beautiful comes from it. Again, it does not mean that you have to be falling madly in love with anybody during this time, though you could be. You could also see your relationships strengthening, those the ones that really do aid you in this life, they strengthen. They are empowered. And this is you embracing your passion, your love, your desire. And this is you having in your inner self this balancing energy that lets you see things more openly, more honestly, and more beautifully for you. And as you do so, we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is hard work paying off. But this is also really hard work. Okay? You know, a lot of times when we look at things and we look at the world and we think, why was I gypped? You know, why don't I have as much as everybody else? And the really hard truth to things is that life doesn't owe us anything. And that doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair. You know, a lot of people have it better than we do. A lot of people have it way worse. You know, unless, you know, and that's hard. That's hard. But what Spirit is saying here, and it's one of my favorite sayings, which I'm going to probably butcher, but it says, it's by Plato, and he said, be kind, for the man standing next to you is carrying an unbearable load, or a heavier load, depending on the translation. And that's so true. It's like, as you are creating, as you are cultivating, as you are seeing your hard work pay off, and it might be in a very small way, it might be in a very small way, that you're starting to see things come together. Move forward with kindness. Move forward with compassion. I mean, this world has enough yelling and screaming and I'm right and you're wrong and, you know, just let's talk louder and louder over everyone until nobody can hear anything. It has enough of that. This is an archway to your wealth. This is a new beginning that has been worked so hard for. And as you reach it, reward yourself. Talk kindly to yourself. Don't sit there and say, okay, well, good job. Now let's go and do another impossible thing. Take a moment and say, well done. Because your hard work is paying off. Inwardly, you're starting to see all the time, all the effort, all the sacrifices, all the pain, all the suffering that we've put into life. And moving forward in that power, you are seeing that you are extraordinary. And as you see that we're extraordinary, Spirit is saying, as you see that we're extraordinary, because it's always you and Spirit coming together, there's nothing that cannot be accomplished. There's nothing that cannot be accomplished when you put your faith in Spirit. And it leads you to the moon. During this time, you face fears. You face fears in the fierce, ferocious, powerful, brilliant, creative, amazing way that Aries faces fears. Head on. And boldly and bravely. And with the moon, you are going to see that this moon is astoundingly powerful for you, cleansing, grounding, beautiful. But it is also a moon that lets you rejoice. It lets you rejoice in the silvery brilliance of the reflection of the day, of the reflection of the sun. And you face fears, we see the shadows. And we sit there and we say, you know what? The shadows will always be. Little kids are afraid of the dark because they cannot see. And so every shadow, every creak, every sound becomes so much more than what it once was. And here, as adults, you know, we are programmed as human beings to really take note of what we're afraid of. Why? Because when we were hunter-gatherers, and even up till really relatively recent times, there was so much to fear. So much to fear that it was unbelievable. And if you're not living in, you know, in war-torn places, in terrible places, there's not as much to fear as there was once upon a time. And so here, you are looking at what you desire, at what you want, but also the fears that hold you back. And you're seeing yourself coming out of the waters of those fears. You're seeing yourself having a resilience, the hard shell, you know, and moving forward in the power, in the brilliance that is you. Taking flight, seeing things more openly, seeing things more honestly, and saying, no, I will not be kept small. I will not be held back. And there's a beautiful, sensual grace that comes with that realization within your inner self. And it moves you. It moves you to a place with the Three of Cups. And how I always see the Three of Cups is the Three of Cups is the person that should have been celebrating us, that just couldn't. They just couldn't do it. They might have been right there with us, best friend, greatest ally, laughing, enjoying, right in our corner. But when push came to shove, they dropped the ball. They couldn't be what we needed. And that's on them. You might sit there and want to say, oh, I needed too much. You're human. You will always need too much at one point or another. Who stands by you when that's the truth? With the Three of Cups, it is looking at the people who spoke negativity over us, who said you couldn't when you could, or when maybe it took a little bit more work, but you could definitely get there. Who were the ones that planted doubt within our minds, within our souls, within ourselves, that told us we're not good enough? Because what you're doing here, Aries, is that you're saying, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am empowered, I am emboldened, and you might have tried to make me fail, but I rose. But to move past your evil words, that echo in my mind, has made me stronger and bolder and better than I would have been if everything was easy. I would have liked it if everything was easy. Who wouldn't? But I'm better because of this. And it moves you to the Nine of Cups. It moves you to a radiance. It moves you to a wish being granted. It moves you to a beauty that is profound and abundant and brilliant and amazing and absolutely yours. And people see this radiating from your heart so much easier than you do. And with the Three of Cups also, remember to celebrate the people who celebrate us. The people who are in our corner, the people we usually overlook. Okay? That's going to be a great thing to do during this time. To embrace love, to embrace healing, to embrace blessings with the Nine of Cups. Because you have the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is might, is truth, is cutting through doubts and fears and knowing where you stand and what you stand for and claiming this power, this intuition, this grace, and this brilliance. And you will not be held back and you will not be denied. The King of Swords says, yes, I carry the weight of responsibility on my shoulders. The King of Swords is more seen than the Queen. The Queen can be more behind the scenes. The King is more seen. Is the person that is the force here. And so as you have these two coming together, it's your hard work brings this force of spirit within your heart, within your soul. And it's also your heart and your mind working together. And that's important because I see us as emotional beings. And as emotional beings, we have to recognize our hearts. We have to pay homage to our hearts and say, okay, this is emotionally how I feel. But we cannot be ruled by our emotions. Okay, we cannot let them rule and run amok. And we cannot let our mind rule and run amok. Because one makes us way too volatile, and the other one makes us way too cold, way too logical. So with the Queen and the King of Swords in this line, it's like your hard work, your dedication comes forward. It comes forward. And with the King at your heart, your mind and your heart are coming together. You're cutting through the doubts and the fears. You're knowing where you stand. You're knowing what you stand for. You're embracing your truth. And there's a power, there's a grace, there is a fighter spirit to you. And added to an Aries already fighter spirit, I mean, this is not a time where you're going to sit back and say, oh, things are just going to happen. It's like, no, I'm going to work my tush off to be able to get to where it is that I need to be. Because the light that is shining down on you is prosperous, is beautiful, and is colored by the hard work that you have put into your existence, that moves you forward, and that embraces you in seeing things, and that has you embracing, seeing things in a way that you might have thought impossible, that you might have thought, oh no, that couldn't be. And you're going to see that other people, they may try to take credit for what you are doing, but you know the truth, and you are empowered by that truth. As you are crowned here with the Eight of Wands, in the public arena, things start moving quickly. Right? And it almost feels like ready or not, here it comes. You don't have the control over it that you want to when things start to change. Now you have the repeat of the number 8. Number 8 is a female number, so there's a strong connection to the sacred feminine. You have the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine coming through. You have this beautiful pairing with your inner self. And, with your inner desires and with your heart coming forward during this time, Aries. And with the repeat of the number 8, there's also a sense of taking things astoundingly seriously, a little bit too seriously. You can sit there and be like, okay, it has to be done just like this. I have to move forward just like that. You're not going to give yourself that step back, that emotional embrace, that the Taurian full moon, that the, that, yeah, that Shawan, that the blue moon wants you to do. They want you to step back and see and believe that the impossible is possible, that you can move forward in an astounding way as you surrender to higher knowledge, as you surrender to the grace, to the creativity, the sensuality, the spirituality inside of you. And it moves you to things changing. And you're at first going to want to be like, no, I need to plan out this change so much, just absolutely plan it out. And this is saying here, you can't. You can't. It needs to move forward in the way that is right for your soul, that is right for yourself. It needs to move forward in your truth. And that's going to be stepping back a little bit, Aries, and seeing kind of where the wind takes you. And it brings you, as you do so, it brings you to the 10 of Pentacles. And they all live happily ever after, in prosperity and in bounty. And isn't that just what everybody wants? Now, the 10 of Pentacles does not mean that you get exactly what you want, exactly the way that you envisioned it. It doesn't even mean that it is, prosperity that lasts for generations, that you view that is like a lottery ticket, that is wealth, okay? It is wealth that embraces your heart, that betters your life, that, brings a smile to your face. And it could have absolutely nothing to do with money. And that's okay. You might sit there and say, Dean, that's fine for you to say that's okay. I would really like money. And I completely get that. I really do. But there's a depth here. There's a depth here that's coming. There's a way that you're moving forward. There's a prosperity that's around you. That's really empowering you, emboldening you, guiding you forward, changing so much. And so as things move forward and you think, oh my gosh, where the heck is this heading? It's heading towards a prosperity that is very important to you. Now, this does not mean sit back, eat chips, and let the world pass you by. No, it means be an active part of what you desire, of what you want, of, looking at your goals and saying, okay, I'm going after it. I'm going after it. I'm working hard. I'm focusing. I'm, determined. I will not be held back because the doors are opening. And as the doors open, the Queen of Swords sits there and says, I'm taking what is rightfully mine. This can also be being, Spirit is saying, this can also be being a little bit colder, quote unquote, colder during this time. It's like, listen, I will not let opportunities slip through my fingertips. I will not, not fight for what I want and what I need. And I cannot be, swayed by everybody's hurts, pains, and desires that they're putting on me. And so that's going to be an important thing during this time. It's kind of like, it's becoming a little bit more business minded to an extent, but it's really sitting there and saying, I'm looking at what I need to move forward. It's not being, cruel, but it's being a bit more, you have to discover. You have to discover what to other people. You have to discover this on your own. I'm discovering me. And you're doing so with tremendous strength. There's actually going to be something when you find the answers, okay? And as the answers come around the full moon in November, on November 30th, as those answers come, there's a truth here that you are absolutely claiming. There's knowledge that is a part of you, that will become a part of you, that shapes the foundation for the rest of your life. Ooh, sorry about the car alarm going off outside. And then we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is happiness, joy, prosperity, success, bounty, brilliance. The Four of Wands is wealth that lasts and that moves us forward. It is a sense of, oh my goodness. It is a sense of, oh, there we go, thank goodness, of things coming together, of that archway forward. And I think it sets off car alarms. It really does. It's like, there they go again. It is like, wow, this is my truth. This is what I desire. This is the way that I'm moving forward. This is the brilliance that I need. I'm crowned here by an archway of roses, of love, of a connection to the sacred. If you're like me and you have a strong divinity, to the Virgin Mary, this is a connecting with that love, with that light, with that compassion, with that kindness, and you're going to really see yourself moving forward in the brilliance that is you. And it's something that does set off car alarms. It's like, be ready to celebrate, be ready to move forward in a happiness, in a joy that cannot be taken away from you, that cannot be denied, that becomes such a part of your life, that it becomes the grounding influence of your existence. All right. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself, what Luna has to say. Aries. How will Aries be affected by the October 31st full moon? How will Aries be affected by the October 31st full moon? How will Aries be affected by the October 31st full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Awesome. Actually, let's put that back over here. How will Aries be affected? All right. We can move that over there. There we go. By the October 31st full moon. How will Aries be affected by the October 31st full moon? How will Aries be affected by the October 31st full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So we're having self-love. I love that. Over the Empress and the Knight of Swords. Then you have patience with the Eight of Pentacles. That makes perfect sense. And faith with the moon. Oh, that's beautiful. You have here fruition. Show the world the real you. Meditate and contemplate. Nothing will come of the situation. Interesting. A new romantic cycle begins. Look at the big picture. So I like that. I do like that. So when self-love comes in, right, over the Knight of Swords with the Empress, it's really time to embrace the love, the compassion, the companionship of your life, of what you want from your life, of what you love from your life. It doesn't mean that you have to have a partner, all right? It means that you are finding this wholeness within yourself. And that's amazing. That's something that most people never do in their whole entire lives. Okay? They go around looking for other people to complete them. And what we have to do is complete ourselves, to come fully whole and say, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I want for my life. This is me. And as you embrace who you are and what you desire, you embrace your passion, your power, your brilliance, your truth. And that self-love shines out. It really does. And as it shines out, be patient. Be patient with the hard work that is paying off. Be patient with the way that you are moving forward. Be patient with what it is that is coming, because we're going to want it, as human beings always do. We want it yesterday, or 3 years ago. But it takes time. So be patient with what is developing before you. It brings you to having faith within yourself, within the moon, within the way the moon is blessing you, and the creativity that is building inside of you. It moves you then to fruition. From hurt comes love. And that is what you're building and bringing to fruition in your life. Show the world the real you. Claim your sword. Claim that crown. Put it on your head. Hold that sword in your hand and say, this is me. I am fierce. I am determined. I am dedicated to what I want from my life. And I will not be held back. And that is you showing the world the real you. That warrior spirit is really coming through, Aries. And as it comes through, meditate and contemplate on the brilliance that is shining down on you, on what you have worked so hard for, and what you are still striving towards. Nothing will come of this. Now, I'm going to link down below the Void of Course during this time, because I would just pay attention, and I didn't look them up, so I do apologize about that. But pay attention to when the Void of Courses are, because that's when things kind of go upside down just a bit. So check that out. It'll be in the description box below. And just don't do anything really important during that time. You can give yourself, a few minutes around the Void of Course, or you can, cut out that time frame and be like, okay, this 30 minutes, I'm not going to do anything. So do what feels right for you. But as you move forward and as prosperity comes, you're going to think things are going to go one way. They're going to go quite differently than what you believe. So that is what the Void of Course is saying. And then we have the new moon in Libra, which I don't believe I was saying that before. And this is a new romantic cycle begins. And we see this. We see this with the King and the Queen of Swords. We see this with the Empress and you as the Emperor. There's a new romantic cycle in your life beginning. And it doesn't, again, mean that you have to be meeting somebody. Because with the state of the world and everything that's going on, that's really quite difficult. But it does mean that you are having love come into your life. You're embracing a new romantic cycle within your existence, within this earth, while you are moving forward. And that is extraordinary. And it brings you to looking at the big picture, to the full moon in Sagittarius. It's like, look at the big picture as you embrace your happiness, as you take aim towards what sets off car alarms, towards, joys and happiness and success and brilliance and celebration, and just a sense of, it's a distracting abundance. All right, so let's look at your subconscious message for this time. And let's see what Luna has to say subconsciously. And we have will. So where there's a will, there's a way. You have a strong, determined will that is leading you forward during this time. Okay? And then you have the full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't sit there and think, okay, I can force it to happen. If I state it, if I demand it, it will be. It's like, no. Come to things from love, compassion, and a sense of honor of spirit. And you will see things really starting to fall into place. And your subconscious tarot message is the Five of Swords. You're facing something karmic during this time. Something that has held you back. Something that wants to keep you hidden away in the corner. And you're not going to be. Subconsciously, you're setting yourself free. And you're claiming a greater path than what you had thought you would be walking, or what you had thought you would have. And that's really quite beautiful. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we claim the love that is for us in this world, as we contemplate what we want to bring forward in our existence, and how we move in grace and elegance and eloquence of self, soul, and spirit, and as we embrace the healing of the warrior spirit that is within us. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.